What if everything they told us about temples was wrong? What if the oldest temples on earth were not built to worship gods above, but to reflect the God within? Their pillars, their domes, not just stone and design, but a sacred language, carved in silence, whispering to the mind. Temples that echo the soul because they were shaped like the soul, and more shockingly, like the human brain itself. Ancient structures, continents apart, yet built with uncanny similarity to the organ we use to dream, to remember, to imagine. Coincidence or a map that was always in us, but never taught? Let's enter the temple, not with feet, but with thought. Temples were not just stone, they were systems, blueprints of inner awakening. In Egypt, the ancient temple of Dendera mirrors the human head. Its sanctuary lies where the pineal gland would sit. Coincidence? In India, sacred temples rise layer by layer, each level matching a chakra, each corridor echoing the spine. Mayan pyramids, Greek amphitheaters, Tibetan monasteries, all of them built around one pattern, a central axis, a silent core, and the journey inward. Some called it architecture, but to the initiates, it was anatomy. They weren't just building places to worship. They were sculpting the soul's journey into stone. Deep inside the human brain lies a tiny, cone-shaped gland. The ancients didn't need microscopes to find it. They saw it in dreams, in symbols, in sacred vision. The pineal gland, called the eye of God, the seed of the soul, the stargate by mystics. In Egyptian temples, the innermost chamber was kept dark, lit only by shafts of light on certain days. No footsteps, no voice, just silence, a place for revelation. The pineal gland is the same, buried deep, silent, but light-sensitive. It doesn't need to see the world. It sees beyond it. Some say it's the gate to inner worlds. Others say it's where memory and spirit kiss. Either way, every temple had one, and so do you. Why do temples align with stars? Why are pyramids pointing to Orion? Why do ancient stones mirror the constellations? Because the sky was not just above, it was a map, a reflection of the mind. Ancient builders spoke a language of shapes, circles, spirals, triangles, each one echoing the design of nature and the soul. They believed that space itself has memory, and certain places hum differently. Ley lines, invisible rivers of energy, that temples were carefully built upon. These weren't just structures, they were instruments, tuned to a cosmic rhythm, resonating with human thought. Have you ever entered a place and felt like time was slower, like your breath deepened? That's the geometry of the invisible, and it knows who you are. What if the temple was never out there? What if the ancient architects were not building houses for gods, but blueprints for the soul? Your body has gates, your spine, a sacred staircase, your breath, a mantra, your heart, an altar, your brain, a cathedral of light. In meditation, you do not go somewhere, you return to a silence built into your bones. They built temples with stone, you build them with stillness. Every sacred space you've entered was a reflection of something already inside you. The dome above you is the same curve as your skull. The center of the temple mirrors the pineal gland. The journey is not to a place, but to a state. You are not just a seeker, you are the sanctuary. Perhaps they weren't building temples to reach the divine, they were leaving reminders for when we forgot. Messages in stone that speak across time, not in words, but in design, in silence, in stillness. The temple is not a place, it's a frequency. It is the rhythm of breath, the geometry of thought, the echo of light within darkness. And maybe you've walked past yourself, looking for something that was never lost. The ancients didn't leave us gods. They left us reflections. So now, when you see a temple, remember, you are not outside of it. You are within. You are the gate, the room, the center. The map is already inside you, and you were always the sacred place. Some temples were never meant to be seen. They were meant to be heard. In Egypt, chambers were tuned to resonate at specific frequencies. In India, the Om was carved into stone, not as a symbol, but as an echo. The walls weren't just walls, they were instruments. They carried sound like water. Ancient priests didn't speak prayers. They sang them because they believed that the right vibration could open gates the eye could not see. Modern science agrees. Frequency changes matter. Sound rearranges form. And your body is mostly water. So what happens when your voice matches your temple? When breath becomes a bridge and vibration becomes the key? Maybe the gods never needed statues. Maybe they were always music. Every journey begins with forgetting. You were born forgetting who you are, not as punishment, but as a test, a design. The ancients knew, for a soul to awaken, it must first fall asleep. In mystery schools, students were blindfolded. They walked through dark tunnels. They were disoriented, not to be lost, but to be made ready. Because forgetting is not the end of knowledge. It is the first step to wisdom. What is sacred must be rediscovered, re-earned, re-seen. Your inner temple was never erased, just hidden, so you could remember it with your own light. You are not broken. You are becoming. Look around you. A tree that spirals, a mountain that humbles, a river that carves its path with grace. Do these things exist only outside? Or are they echoes of something within? Temples were not the only sacred spaces. Sometimes a conversation is a sanctuary. Sometimes silence is a prayer. A home can be a temple. A moment of stillness can be a doorway. A gaze can be a blessing. Because the outer world, it learns from the inner. What you build within, you begin to see without. This is why the ancients meditated before they built. Because before you lay a stone, you must lay a thought. Before you carve a wall, you must open a heart. And before you walk into any temple, you must first walk into yourself. If this whispered something to your soul, stay with us. There are still many doors left to open.